What's up, everyone? I hope you guys are doing absolutely fine. And welcome to our podcast. We have with us Miss Surbhi Devra. She is one of the founders of the careerguide.com, and she is one of the renowned personalities in the field of edtech startups. इनके बारे में मैं कुछ भी अचीवमेंट्स कहूँ, लिस्ट शायद छोटी पड़ जाएगी क्योंकि इनके पास बहुत बड़ी लिस्ट अचीवमेंट्स की। कुछ अचीवमेंट्स इनकी मैं एक बार आप लोगों के सामने प्रेजेंट करना चाहूँगा। She is honored with top 100 social entrepreneurs in the year 2015 by Action for India, which was instituted by Sam Pitroda. She was listed in India's top 40 women entrepreneur listed by ustory.in. She is also being awarded with National Education Award in the year 2013 by then ex-HRD Minister Dr. Paliram Raju for Career Guidance Platform. On the recommendation of Group of Ministry of Labour, Government of India established the career service centers across India. ये इन्हीं की वजह से हुआ था. And conducted guest lectures for students in engineering and MBA colleges around the India. And basically इनके अंदर ना स्टार्टअप का इनोवेशन बहुत ज्यादा जो कीड़ा होता है ना वो बहुत ज्यादा है इनमें. मतलब हम लोगों को इन मैम से सीखना चाहिए कि स्टार्टअप कैसे करना चाहिए. Without doing any further delay, welcome ma'am. I'm really honored to have you on board.
Faiz, that was a very humbling introduction. इतना भी मुश्किल नहीं है. इनफैक्ट जो भी सुन रहे हो मैं कहूँगी किसी भी चीज़ के पीछे अगर आप कंटिन्यू करते रहे, कमिटमेंट बना रहे तो everybody can have all these awards and laurels. So nothing very big जैसा फैज ने introduce किया. Thank you for humbling introduction.
All right, ma'am. Thank you so much. मेरा आपसे एक first question है. Like right now you are giving career guidance services to n number of students. मतलब countless students को आपने career guidance दिया. That means कि आप बहुत लोगों की mentor भी बनी होगी. मेरा आपसे एक question है कि आपकी life में सुरभि देवड़ा कौन था? Who was your mentor?
Very interesting. I think life is the biggest mentor for everybody. But definitely, I'll say that people, I will not take one single name for being my mentor because there's so many people who have helped me right from my school and college days to my startup journey. So when I say startup, then Vishal Gondal and Ronnie Screwvala comes first name in my mind because these are the people who not only invested in Career Guide, but I learned my first business acumen or understanding from them. When I talk about college times, then it was a couple of my professors whom I really looked upon to Mr. Vimal Bhanot, Surekha Bhanot, Sangeeta Sharma. There were a couple of them. In school days, we had teachers, and then definitely your family members around. So I learned a lot from my mom, the way she was dealing with situations on day-to-day basis. So yeah, taking and countless people who make podcasts and blogs and videos like you, जो इतने सारे इंस्पिरेशंस लेकर आते हैं, उनको पढ़ के सीख के उनको ऑब्जर्व करके सब कुछ एक मेंटरिंग बन जाता है. बट इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग इज knowing that you need help, you need mentoring, that becomes more important.
Right, I completely agree. So, ma'am, our organization Stairs Positive talks about art in relation with mental health. So, I just wanted to ask, आपका introduction in terms of art and mental health से कब हुआ था?
Well, I think the good thing is that I had my schooling in Hyderabad, and it's been fascinating that I got associated with a couple of NGOs who were helping kids from all spheres of life. So I think when I was in school in eighth grade, I got introduced to things like speaking out to people. There's an organization called Nachiketa Tapovan in Jubilee Hills. And that's where I used to attend workshops like this. And I used to talk to people up there. So I think my first introduction was there. It's so important to have a different set of group, which is different from your फ्रेंड्स एंड फैमिली जिनसे आप बात कर सको, जिनसे आप कुछ एक नया पर्सपेक्टिव ले सको और एक डिफरेंट पर्सपेक्टिव जोन में जा सको. सो मैं कहना चाहूंगी कि या मेंटल हेल्थ इन अ वे मेंटल हेल्थ की तरह इंट्रोड्यूस नहीं किया गया था, बट इन अ वेरी डिफरेंट मैनर. मे बी कॉल इट पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट, मे बी कॉल इट सेल्फ रिलायंस, उस तरीके से इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया था.
That's actually nice. Uh, if possible, ma'am, can you tell about your organization and team, careerguide.com?
Definitely. In fact, Career Guide, as the name suggests, is in career guidance, and we deal with students right from ninth grade, that is school students, onwards to working professional. And we help students figure out, individuals figure out a right career by choosing a right subject, right course, right stream, right college, right way to look for job, right way to do a LinkedIn profile, right way to take all the career decisions. And it's very important, linking up to your previous answer, मुझे लगता है करियर सबसे बड़ा फैक्टर होता है मेंटल हेल्थ एंड पॉजिटिविटी एंड कॉन्फिडेंस इन लाइफ. हम इतना टाइम स्पेंड करते हैं अपने करियर्स में, इनफैक्ट 30+ years वी स्पेंड इन अ करियर वी आर इन, तो वो बहुत बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है कि हम उसको बहुत राइट सेलेक्ट करें, कॉन्फिडेंटली सेलेक्ट करें, इन्फॉर्म्ड तरीके से सेलेक्ट करें, क्योंकि हम सबकी आइडेंटिटी वही है जो हम करते हैं. एक डॉक्टर की आइडेंटिटी इज इट्स प्रोफेशन. माई आइडेंटिटी एज अ स्टार्टअप पर्सन और अ करियर काउंसलर और अ एडटेक प्रोफेशनल. हम सब की आइडेंटिटी, आपकी फैज इज लाइक अ पॉडकास्टर, यू विल बी सीन इन द कम्युनिटी. सो ये जो पोर्शन है, जो हमारे लाइफ का बहुत बड़ा पोर्शन है, बहुत कॉन्फिडेंस क्रिएट करने वाला पोर्शन है, दिस इज वॉट we identified our sweet spot and we said we will be doing this as Career Guide. We do it through psychometric test. हमारे पास different types of psychometric test है जो हर students को दिए जाते हैं, और ये psychometric test students, it's a AI based engine which helps you predict your right career, and then we connect career counselors to these students on real time. So we have students coming from 12,000 different locations across the world, and we have career counselors in 9 different countries. Now we connect these, and these students can speak to career counselors, and this is what the entire service is all about. And we are pretty excited about doing this. We have been doing this for 5+ years, and we are very much excited about doing this again for next 3 decades, because I see career बहुत बड़ा angle, and I see this is a very big business opportunity also.
And I hope careerguide.com 3 decades ही नहीं, आने वाले infinite amount of time के लिए survive करे, grow करे and prosper करे. मेरा एक क्वेश्चन था, आई मीन प्रॉस्पेर से मुझे क्वेश्चन आता है कि in your lifetime, in your lifespan, what was your biggest blessing?
Well, it is a very interesting question you have put forth, and I'll say that my biggest blessings been not able to be born with silver spoon in my mouth, right? I think coming from a humbling middle class background, where you have to prove yourself, you have to earn your pocket money, you have to earn your ranks and marks, that gives you ambition in life, that gives you aspiration in life. And not only that, that helps you relate to others' aspirations and ambitions and others' zeal to break through struggle. So मुझे लगता है that's been my biggest blessing, to be born in a very humble background with not having a silver spoon in my mouth, because then I relate to others much more, and I relate to my fire because of that. Yeah.
Okay, that's really, really inspirational. Right now, COVID ka situation is at peak right now, and everyone is right now it's adapting to the future and stuff. So, being as an entrepreneur, I want to ask, like, what is the future of entrepreneurship or everything in general in 2030? Till 2030 tak kaisa future you can predict?
Well, future predict करना बड़ा मुश्किल है, but definitely I'll say that to all the students listening to this, this is not how your world will be. In fact, the 4 months ने बिल्कुल change कर दिया the way world was entire. None of us thought about that life could be something like this. Localized, just being around, not thinking about travel, not going out, slow pace. This is this is a very, very surprising and a startling moment, COVID-19, for the entire humanity, the entire planet. So what would happen by next 2030 is very difficult, but definitely life will be very different. All of us have to be super conscious, living super consciously. More importantly, automation and technology will be taking over a lot. And hence, it becomes important that all of us would have to start being more logical, more analytical, more tech savvy. This is something I'll be requesting everybody who's listening to it, because future will be lot of tech. There's a possibility everything what you see around will be humans will be replaced with automation and with machine. And the COVID-19 has triggered that fact, you know. It has made it has accelerated the use of technology and pace of technology. And in fact, governments just जो बहुत प्रोएक्टिव नहीं थे इस चीज को लेके, वो भी करने लगे हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल ड्रोन टेक्नोलॉजी, नाउ कॉन्टैक्टलेस टेक्नोलॉजी, ड्राइवरलेस कार्स, ऑल ऑफ दिस विल get accelerated in much faster way. So maybe 2030 would be something like a science fiction movies, which we had seen. Definitely is going to be something like that. But that doesn't mean कि human need khatam ho jayega, but human need for a lot of manual repetitive work will be reduced. You will require a high order thinking in human beings.
I agree. In fact, ma'am, organization has conducted one event where I was participating in that. I was listening to the entire event. During that particular event, it was just my observation, what I feel like in that Startup Summit live event. Uh, Everyone was discussing about the future predictions, the era of startup and everything. What I was learning was in the like when it comes to the question of world in 2020, मेरे को सिर्फ दो examples देने हैं इसके बारे में, what I have observed. For example, you take gym industry. Right now, the era of physical gyms are completely be getting shut off. Gold's Gym, जो बहुत बड़ा जिम था, वो अभी bankruptcy के situation में है. इनफैक्ट बहुत सारे जो बड़े बड़े जिम ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस थे, दे आर ऑन अ वर्ज ऑफ क्लोजर. अभी राइट नाउ व्हाट द सिचुएशन इज, दे विल बी रिप्लेस्ड बाय ऐप बेस्ड gym based system where the instructor will be giving you instructions through the app or video conferencing and stuff like that. When it comes to the farming, ऐसा नहीं है कि farming will be completely replaced by robots. But the difference will be जो manual labor, जो hard labor जो होता था, will be done by robots, and the farming, यानी जो farmers हैं हमारे, they will be now be turning into the managers. This is what I believe in the world of like in the future 2030 would like be. Yes. So अभी लॉकडाउन चल रहा है, इसकी वजह से काफी सारे organizations are in a verge of extinction or closure. So what's your advice on that?
That's sad, definitely. कि काफी organizations are not able to go ahead, carry on the businesses. जैसे आपने गोल्ड जिम की बात की, gyms की बात की. But this is also an opportunity for the organization to introduce technology in their businesses. I think everybody should start seeing technology and start looking at technology as a medium. So definitely this situation is temporary. Businesses impact हो रहे हैं, but silver lining is that जिसने कभी technology नहीं सोचा वो भी सोच रहे हैं. They are moving towards meeting clients online. They're talking about inquiring, capturing leads online. So ये सारी चीजें हो रही हैं, accelerated हो रही है. पहले होता था दिल्ली to गुड़गांव travel करने के लिए एक single meeting के लिए it would take up 2.5 hours one side and the other side, right? 5 hours gone in a day just to travel for a half an hour meeting. Now all of us have gotten this in mind कि वो unnecessary है. आप इस तरह से Zoom पे, video calls पे आप meeting कर सकते हो, आप rapport build कर सकते हो, right? Excuse me. Yeah. So this is a perfect time for technologies to build, businesses to build technologies and introduce technology in them.
Okay, I agree to this fact. Since your organization Career Guide is dealing with lots and lots of career guidance, which means that you also have said that the presence in social media and technology should be there to survive, and that means you also are there, जहाँ पे you are interacting with बहुत lots and lots of social media platforms पे. With that being said, I want to ask that what is the future of social media because it's uncertain. अभी कुछ टाइम पहले टिकटॉक था. टिकटॉक वॉज एट एपिटोम. बहुत सारे आर्टिस्ट टैलेंट्स ग्रो कर रहे थे. फिर ऑल ऑफ अ सडन टिकटॉक बैन हो गया. एवरीथिंग इज नाउ इन ग्रीन. और जो एस्पायरिंग टिकटॉकर्स थे, इंस्टाग्राम रील्स हैज बीन रिलीज्ड आउट इन रिप्लेसमेंट ऑफ टिकटॉक. बट जो नए नए आर्टिस्ट थे जो टिकटॉक की वजह से ग्रो कर पा रहे थे, बिकॉज टिकटॉक ऐसा प्लेटफॉर्म था वेयर everyone was getting a short, quick fame. Instagram, with banning of TikTok, that element has been removed. So, with that being said, what is the future of social media right now?
Social media is not going anywhere. Social media will become much, much, much more powerful than what it is today. Platforms might change. TikTok is a platform. TikTok, those might change, but uh, there's a possibility instead of Facebook, 20 years down the line, there might be something else, right? Something much more interesting, much more engaging. Today you have Instagram, you might have something else 20 years down the line or 10 years down the line. But social will stay. Social media will stay. The platforms can keep changing. That would definitely happen because social media has given not only fame, but it has removed a layer of, when it comes to talent, it has removed a layer of middlemen. It has just, if you're talented, you can be out there and become famous and earn a lot of that. If you have opinion, if you have a voice, you can reach out to masses. You don't need a middleman to be around to help you push or get your voice out. So social media is not going anywhere. The platforms can keep changing. In fact, the social media will become much, much, much more powerful, and you will find 7 billion plus people coming and speaking and interacting on it. In fact, it might be something like I don't know. I mean, if guys listening to this have watched an episode in Black Mirror, which was all about rating, where every citizen has their ratings depending on their social media profile, depending on the basis of their actions and everything. Maybe the life's going to move towards that. All of us going to look at who's connected to whom, and that's when the first move would be taken care of. I've heard that China has implemented some rating system to acquire some land or rentals and stuff. So that's what the future is going to look like.
It's quite interesting and scary both at the same time when I listen to this. uh, I have heard many people saying that content is not the king, content is the kingdom. What's your perspective on that?
Well, it's very, very interesting question again, Faz. Thanks for bringing that up. Definitely, content is volatile. It has certain shelf life. It can make you, I mean, it can just spread like fire, and it can just stay in a place also contained. So definitely, somebody who has ability to create quality content, good content, or even content consistency. I think I'll focus on the word consistency more. If you have that ability, then I'll say content is king also, and content is kingdom also. So yes, what are these platforms, be it Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, or Chingari, or anything? It's because of the content, right? So it's kingdom as well as the king. Yeah.
That's I completely agree to, ma'am. Uh, there's one curious question that was like arising in my mind, that I've been working with ma'am for like 2 to 3 months now, and I was very, very, shocked, and I was learning a lot how her organization works. But I was having this small kida wala question, that how did you start Career Guide? I mean, you have a very, very big team by far, as I have observed. एंड आई मीन जब कोई बड़ी टीम होती है उसको संभालना इज वेरी वेरी चैलेंजिंग टास्क, बट स्टिल यू आर मैनेजिंग इट वेरी वेरी एफिशिएंटली, एंड नाउ लाइक करियर गाइड को स्टार्ट हुए लाइक बहुत लंबा टाइम हो गया, बट आई वांट टू आस्क ये स्टार्ट हुआ कैसे था करियर गाइड?
Career Guide has been something of my own personal experience or observation. I happened to study in BITS Pilani, and all my career choices were more like a fluke. I landed up in all right places, but it was not all planned. And sometimes when I look back and I think, what if all this didn't happen, right? It just happened. Was it a fluke, luck, whatever it was? And and I realized when I was in BITS that it's just not me. It's almost the entire batch of 800 students. They are doing it because they're told to do so, but they don't understand what does mean by taking X branches, X degrees, X careers. And I was always passionate about education. I wanted to be a teacher, right? So whenever somebody asked, "What do you want to become?" Like as kids, you get this question a lot. What's your dream career? So I always said teacher. I always wanted to be that. And I think because I learned technology at BITS, I got introduced to technology, I got introduced to entrepreneurship, and I realized maybe this is one area. We have enough of universities, we have colleges, we have governments talking about setting up schools and universities and everything, but there's nobody who's talking about the transition. We have hundreds of programs, but which one is right for me? Nobody's talking about it. So this was something which I picked it up. I experimented along with NGOs. I experimented along with a lot of workshops, fairs, speaking to students across the country. And then the online platform turned out to be something which we should be doing, because in physical mode, maybe I can end up reaching out 50,000 students in my lifetime. But today in real world, I end up reaching 50,000 students in a day. Yeah, so that's the massive impact online gives.
Yeah, so whoever is listening out there, by far, what I have learned is that social media plays a very, very important role, and one needs to have this concept in your brain that how to handle social media, not from just a single user perspective, but from a perspective at large. Uh, सिंस लाइक जब आपने करियर गाइड स्टार्ट किया था मैम, ऑब्वियसली कुछ डाउनफॉल्स तो रहे होंगे, एंड बहुत सारे डाउनफॉल्स रहे होंगे, लाइक इनफैक्ट मैंने भी अपना स्टेज जब स्टार्ट किया था मेरे को भी बहुत ज़्यादा डाउनफॉल्स रहे. सो आई जस्ट वांट टू आस्क, व्हाट वाज दैट बिगेस्ट डाउनफॉल इन योर लाइफ एंड व्हाट यू हैव लर्न फ्रॉम इट?
There's always, in fact, downfall is a beautiful thing. It tells you about your own strengths. So there's been many. There has been times where I doubted why I'm doing this. There has been times I felt cheated by people around. There's been times actually I got cheated by people around. So there's always a downfall, but interesting thing is that I would not like to pinpoint one single downfall, because every downfall ends up giving you a different perspective and a different strength to get up. And when you are in that downfall, you think this is the end of everything, right? And when you're able to overcome that, then you know, okay, the next one maybe is the bigger one, right? So yeah, pointing out to one would be difficult, but there has been a lot of instances where there has been promised contracts have been broken, huge money involved in it, huge teams involved in it, a lot of them. But I think the beauty of startups or running a startup is that gives you a huge maturity. Almost जो आप 20-30 years of अपनी वर्किंग एक्सपीरियंस में सीखते हो वो शायद आप 2 या 3 साल में स्टार्टअप करके सीख जाते हो, एंड दैट्स ये बहुत ही ब्लिसफुल अपॉर्चुनिटी भी बन जाती है, राइट?
यस, आई एग्री। इनफैक्ट मेरे साथ भी ऐसे बहुत सारी चीज़ें हुई हैं, जहाँ जहाँ पे बहुत सारी चीज़ लोगों ने प्रॉब्लम्स क्रिएट करी। कुछ प्रोमिसेस टूटे, कुछ प्रोमिसेस नहीं टूटे, फिर उसके बाद टीम्स हैव बीन बिट्रेइंग अस आउट। बट एट द एंड ऑफ द डे, व्हाट आई हैव स्टडीड फॉर माय बिगेस्ट डाउनफॉल इज दैट ओके, अभी ये मैनेज तुमने कर लिया, इट्स फाइन, इट्स नो प्रॉब्लम। तुमने इतना सर्वाइव कर लिया, अभी और भी तुम सर्वाइव कर सकते हो। सो टेंशन की कोई बात नहीं है, जो भी इस पॉडकास्ट को देख रहा है, आप यहाँ तक आए हो, आप बार आगे जा सकते हो। बस आपको थोड़ा सा डाउट हो रहा है, वो थोड़ा सा डाउट का कीड़ा ना आप निकाल दोगे ना, तो लाइफ मस्त सेट हो जाएगी। आई जस्ट वांटेड टू आस्क थोड़ा सा अजीब सा क्वेश्चन, दैट इज व्हाट इज योर secret behind to build a brand? Because career guide is having a very 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 strong presence in the entire industry, tech industry में. So what is the secret? जानना चाहते हैं, जैसे मैगी का सीक्रेट सब जानना चाहते हैं, केएफसी का सीक्रेट सब जानना चाहते हैं, career guide का सीक्रेट क्या है?
We are passionate bunch of people, so I will say that, and we take every single communication very seriously. So if you send a message to us, you have been talking fast, we'll never say no to a message or meeting, or if there's a customer email, you'll be getting a reply in less than 24 hours. So we try to ensure that whether it's a negative feedback or if it's a positive feedback, you will always find us being there and facing it as it is. So मुझे लगता है कि being in front and a very open communication matters a lot in an organization, in a business, and मुझे लगता है that's been one of the reasons we have been able to create a niche and carve out and stand out.
Yes, I completely agree to what ma'am has said. My next question is, what is your, what are your 3 learning sources in your lifetime?
Books, blogs, Twitter.
Okay. Books I understood, blogs I also understood. How Twitter?
Twitter is the most fantastic learning source. In fact, I'll rate it number one before blogs and books, right? So keep following all your people you are inspired from, right? And people whom you want to, because Twitter is one way now people have started communicating. पहले books लिखते थे, पहले blogs लिखते थे, अब Twitter पे अपने messages and comments डालते हैं real time. So अगर आप प्रेसिडेंट ओबामा को फॉलो कर रहे हो, उनको आइडलाइज करते, तो आपको किसी न्यूज़पेपर या ब्लॉग का वेट नहीं करना है प्रेसिडेंट ओबामा ने क्या बोला। आज के डेट में यू कैन लिसन टू हिम एज एंड व्हेन ही इज स्पीकिंग and even comment and reply and speak your mind. So and all the world's movers and shakers are on Twitter, and that's the biggest learning, the biggest source of knowledge.
I have read it somewhere in one of the YouTube videos by Neil Patel. I guess that was the video. I don't remember exactly. He said that it's not a myth when it comes to the startup without having any kind of funds. It's not a myth. What's your take on that?
Can you repeat your question? You mean to say that what exactly you want to say?
Yeah, sure. So some big entrepreneur has said that if you want to start a startup or enter into the field of entrepreneurship, you can start without having any funds or resources. What's your take on that?
Oh, absolutely. Especially with YouTube channels and Instagram influencers, you can become big by just publishing content, in which you talked about content is king and kingdom both. So, आप बिल्कुल as a single person with a छोटा सा skills of editing and छोटा सा skills of graphics and all, आप एक entrepreneur बन सकते हो, earn कर सकते हो, and that's what digital is all about. You can start your digital marketing agencies, keep making services business, and उसी business से inflow करके आप product भी बना सकते हो.
All right. My few last questions to you, ma'am, is any advice to a 18-year-old person to start a to start a startup?
Yes. My advice would be stay motivated, but at the same time, keep talking to others, keep listening to others, have your mentors, speak about your ideas to them, and start working in team. So that would be my advice to them.
Okay.
And also try to work for somebody else. Also try
Yes.
to work for somebody else.
Yes, I agree. My last question to you, ma'am. What is the future of EdTech platform?
EdTech is here. COVID has accelerated EdTech for 5 years ahead in time. The concept EdTech is what demonetization was for FinTech. So EdTech is now ingrained in everybody's mind. Online learning is no more a euphoria or elusive, or it's not an elite thing anymore. It's even for lower middle class or below poverty line individuals and students also. So that's what COVID-19 has done to EdTech. So EdTech is not going anywhere, but definitely a lot of challenges it has to face. Like we need cheaper devices, right? We need more control devices. You can't give to a student and पूरा Google उसके लिए खुला है. You can't give them YouTube and पूरा YouTube खुला है, वो उस पे गाने सुन रहा है या पढ़ रहा है, नहीं पता. So ये छोटी छोटी challenges है, but EdTech has arrived, I would say, it has arrived.
Okay, I just remembered one question. This is my favorite question, and I want to ask. Uh, when you were giving your lecture on at Startup Summit, you have raised one important question. I mean, one important concept that has stuck around in my mind. And I want to ask, this is the last question. What is the concept of she economy and how this concept is now growing?
Well, I think the idea of she economy means more and more female founders, women coming forward, and we're not talking about glass ceiling anymore. वो taking charge है. I remember जब मैंने पहले अपनी ऑफिस का रेंट बुक करने जा रही थी, I was very scared to go meet the landlord because मुझे नहीं पता था वो मुझे देगा या नहीं देगा. वो कहेगा तुम क्या कर रही हो यहाँ पे, types. So I think the entire concept is that can more women leaders come forward and be the role models for the next generation of girls, to come forward and see this is a viable career options for them कि हाँ मैं startup कर सकती हूँ. मुझे business का मतलब ये नहीं है कि मैं family business में join करूँ, right? Business का मतलब ये भी हो सकता है कि मैं अपना खुद का एक segment शुरू करूँ, या business का मतलब ये नहीं है कि मैं अपने husbands के साथ ही करूँ. So this becomes very very important. और ये role models जो हैं वो बहुत visible होने चाहिए, उनके बारे में और ज्यादा बात होनी चाहिए, बिकॉज हमारी नेक्स्ट जनरेशन की गर्ल्स इनको देखेंगी और आगे फॉरवर्ड करेंगी. इनके लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है कि नेक्स्ट डोर रोल मॉडल्स हो, नॉट दैट प्रियंका चोपड़ा एंड दीपिका पादुकोण who are like far-fetched dreams for them, but a next door role models. That's when she economy will be accelerated much more.
Right. With that being said, this is the end of the first episode of Broken Podcast series. Thank you so much, ma'am, for literally अपने busy schedule से you have like allotted this time for the podcast with Stairs. I'm really glad, and I'm really honored, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Faz. Thanks for inviting me in for the first episode. This is going to be staying special with me.
With that being said, thank you so much, guys, for listening to this podcast for a very long time. और जितने भी लोग देख रहे हैं ना, उनके लिए एक और सीख है कि हो गया ना मैटर खत्म. आपके साथ लफड़ा हुआ, घबरा हुआ, जो भी हुआ, टेंशन नहीं लो. अपना सब चीज बढ़ता जाएगा. लोग र्यूमर फैला रहे हैं, फैला दो, कोई टेंशन की बात नहीं है. कसका है, छोड़ देना. क्या एक कान से निकालो, दूसरे कान से बत्ती बुझा के सो जाओ. ठीक है, आज के लिए बस इतना ही. थैंक यू सो मच एवरीवन.